Good morning. I'm going to make a little video about acid reflux, so if that's something you're dealing with, then here's a couple of bits of information and ideas for you. So the first thing a lot of people don't realize is that most cases of acid reflux are actually a lack of acid. So how it works is the pyloric sphincter that opens at the bottom of your stomach and lets the contents move on into the small intestine is controlled by pH. So once your stomach content reaches a certain acidity, then it can move on to the small intestine. So if your stomach acid isn't strong enough, if you're not producing enough stomach acid quickly enough, then your food will sit there and not get digested. That's what we call indigestion. And then gradually it'll start affecting your esophageal sphincter or your esophagus. So that's where that feeling comes from of having that acid reflux, right? And in the worst cases, it might actually come back up a little bit. So that is kind of a concept to wrap your mind around, is that you may not have enough stomach acid. So then if you're taking either antacids that neutralize the acidity, or even worse, protein pump inhibitors that completely stop your body from making hydrochloric acid, you're just compounding the problem, right? Because you're keeping your acid down. It'll treat the symptom. You won't have that burning sensation, but you won't digest well. So your body won't be breaking down the nutrients, especially the proteins need stomach acid to break down. And then you won't be able to absorb as many nutrients as ideally you should be. And I see a lot of people that have been on medication for stomach acid problems for a long time that then have like chronic muscle pain or various other problems where your body isn't making the nutrients or absorbing the nutrients enough to be healthy and to function well. So the first thing that your body needs for making hydrochloric acid is water, because it's a liquid, right? It's needing to produce the stomach acid, which is a liquid which has a lot of water in it. So drinking enough is the number one first step in a lot of health questions anyways. So make sure you're drinking enough water, but drink your water away from meals. So when you have food in your stomach and then you drink a half a liter of water, then you're diluting your stomach acid. So try to drink a good amount, maybe half an hour before a meal, and then you can start drinking water again an hour after a meal. And the next thing, of course, is diet, right? What are you eating and how is your stomach reacting to it? A good idea to find out more about that is to just make a food journal, a diet journal, and record every day what you're eating and how you're feeling, right? So then you can track, oh, every time I eat pasta or a large lump of carbs, I will notice stomach acid problems. So that's actually a pretty common source, is excess carbs. Especially wheat, I think, causes people problems. Another easy tip or idea is to avoid coffee and replace it with green tea. Green tea supports a healthy digestion, whereas coffee tends to be acidic and not conducive to a healthy digestion. Another easy thing to incorporate is to take a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Take like a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in some water with your meals, maybe 2-3 times a day. That seems to be helpful for a lot of people. Generally clean up your diet. Like I said, less carbs. Proteins are more challenging to digest, so if you're really having trouble every time you eat meat, then you could eat less meat, or just avoid meat for a little bit until you have it under control and then go back to it. Smaller meals in general is a helpful thing. avoid snacking in between meals. So if you're snacking constantly, then your body always has to digest a little bit of something. So if you give your body a break and there's a couple of hours of nothing coming in, then it can build up stomach acid, and basically, right, if you're hungry, your body will be able to deal with it better. So 3 meals, no snacks could be an idea, or even looking at intermittent fasting, skipping 1 meal a day, and so on. In Chinese medicine, we talk about the digestive fire needing tending and needing building, and it is at its peak at noon, so that's ideally when you have your biggest meal of the day. So in the morning, start gently. Savory foods are generally better than sweet foods. Gently build your digestive fire with that ginger tea, and then have your biggest meal at noon and a smaller meal for dinner, which is not how we do things in the West generally, because we're busy and we're skipping lunch or cramming something in on our lunch break. But ideally, we'd take the time and really have a nice meal in the middle of the day when the sun is at its peak, and that digestive fire is as well. And then another lever that you can look at is exercise. So basically, when you work out, when you put out energy, then your body will be hungry, and that is the key to it, right? If your body wants food and is really ramping up to get ready to digest, that's what you want. You want to make yourself hungry by exercising. I believe especially weight training, resistance training will stimulate production of hydrochloric acid. So work out, drink water, do a diet journal. And stress, of course, is a very big source of digestive problems. Basically, you may be familiar with the autonomous nervous system, fight or flight versus rest and digest, right? The sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. So when you're stressed, your body isn't thinking about digesting food, it's thinking about running away from the bear or whatnot. So when you're eating, focus on eating. Taste and savor the food, feel some gratitude, just really get into focusing just on the meal. And then when you're done eating, go back to your day. Don't eat and drive, walk, watch things, get off your screens. Don't try to work and eat at the same time. Just focus on the meal. Have gratitude for your meal. And maybe even close your eyes so you're just fully focused on the taste and harmonizing that food to your body. All right, lastly, I want to make a pitch for acupuncture. I have seen acupuncture work really well just by itself for acid reflux. So that's a fascinating topic to explore. There's no side effects. There's really nothing to lose in trying acupuncture for your acid reflux. And then of course there's herbs, right? There's common herbs we know about, such as peppermint. Ginger tea, especially in the morning, is a nice way to build that away, or fennel, or certain herbs and spices that people eat after the meal. A couple of herbs to help with acid reflux might be peppermint. Ginger is really nice. I like chamomile a lot because chamomile is calming to the nervous system, but it's also a bitter, so it helps with digestion. It's a carminative. So bitters in general are great if you can incorporate more bitters into your diet. Radicchio, arugula, bitter melon, dandelion root, coffee, things like that. That is dandelion root as a substitute for coffee. All right, I hope that's helpful for you. Let me know what other topics you'd like me to talk about. Put any questions or comments Greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Be well.